like 7 miles, 6 miles away, so it's very, very easy to do. And then after that, I can just...
Whoops.
Position he tells me to get into, and it's remarkable, the absence of pain, and it's just the same way. And the other thing about it that's kind of interesting is that in my own particular case, I was a little nervous about sometimes having my neck, I would sometimes tense up. And when he would do those adjustments on my neck that way, you didn't have the same feeling, but you get the same outcome. So it was just almost even better, which is rather remarkable. So I have firsthand experience with that, and it's I just wanted the folks to know out there this is something that is being practiced more and more, and it works.
Yeah.
But I think you probably need two believers. I'm thinking, Tim, but
no, actually, I've had so many callers into my radio program that said, I'm just calling in because I like you. You're a cool person. I like your music, and I like what you do. Because I used to be a really big political activist in California. There's not much political activism in Japan. I would be the only one on the street corner. But so I had a lot of people call into my radio show that didn't really think what I was doing was what they were interested in, but they were interested in talking to me because they like my music and my writings. So they would listen in, and they would call in, and they said, I'm a skeptic. I said, it doesn't matter. You don't have to believe in this, because when I first did it, I didn't really believe in it. I just was at the point where I don't want to be in pain anymore, and I want to get over this, and so I did anything. And I tried it, and right away my pain goes away. And I also tried it on people like my wife, who was suffering at the time she was pregnant from debilitating morning sickness, and right away, within 10 seconds, the morning sickness went away. So that was something that even she didn't believe it either. She still today says, no, you didn't take away any of my pain. But anyway.
By the way, one of the callers is getting dropped every time she calls in.
Okay.
So that's Jesse Jordan. So
cool.
I just got a notice on that, but the studio would probably be more aware of it. And what we'll probably do is just talk right up until the first break, which is really in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
And then I'll give folks time to, call in and maybe get some of those queued up, Tim.
Okay, good.
But that's interesting. Now, the other thing I just want to clarify in my own mind, these ailments that you were having, the back ailments, the skin ailments, and maybe the flatulence, if you will, and so forth and so on, you didn't attribute that to being a Buddhist. You just were saying that wasn't helping you necessarily. It was just kind of happenstance. Is that correct? Or
yeah, what I was saying, as a Buddhist, I was able to overcome almost everything in my life, like interpersonal relationship problems, financial problems. But for some reason, no matter how much I chanted, which is what we do as Buddhists, we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, it didn't help any of the pain. It didn't help any of the itchy skin problems. So I was at a point where I was going crazy, because I believe at that time, that's the only thing a person needs to do to overcome anything. And I had to come to a point where I realized, well, there's something else I need to do, and the doctors didn't know what to do, so that's when I came into energy healing. So as a Buddhist, I chant every morning and evening because that's what I've done all my life, and I know it's helping me in every way of my life. It opens up my consciousness and everything. But for certain things like having a back pain, sometimes some meditation or some other spiritual thing will help, but a lot of times you have to go deeper into it, and that's what this body code and emotion code does, and other healing modalities I've been using since then.
Sure. Now, we talked about is the energy code, and you have the body code, right?
Yeah, emotion code and body code.
Emotion code, right, and the body code. Now, were you certified in both, or were you just certified in the emotion code?
I only got certified in the emotion code. The body code is the overall program, but I got so good on the radio program, and I got so many people calling into my show, and so many clients, that I didn't feel like ever getting certified in any other healing modality. So I've actually learned about 7 or 8 different healing modalities now, and I don't have a desire to get certified in any other ones, just because I know them so well.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, I can understand that. After a while, you feel like you've got it.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I try to find out a little bit more about a particular subject, and I Google something, and I find out that I'm the one saying something about it. So I said, okay, well, I guess I got that covered. So I move on to something else. But we're actually coming up on our first break, which actually might not be a bad idea to take that in about a minute or so, Tim, and then that way then we maybe be able to queue up some calls. The first break will take about roughly 2.5 minutes, just listening to some advertising, and but give us a chance to have the studio queue up some of the calls that are coming in.
Perfect.
And I think maybe, hold on one second just before I do that, because I think I may have been, hold on. Yeah, we are taking calls. We're going to take calls, but first we're going to take a break, and then we're going to start taking calls right after that. We do have some calls already queued up. So, folks, please stay tuned, and we'll be right back. When did this start?
October last year.
Oh my goodness! So that's a long time to have a sinus issue.
I've tried everything, all oregano, and tea tree oil up my nose, and eucalyptus, and some access consciousness energy work, and I just short of pulling my own face off.
Well, that sounds like a tough case, Tim.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for. So the cool thing is Jessie Jordan is also a singer-songwriter like I am, and I first heard about Jessie Jordan because she was calling into a Access Consciousness call with who I consider my mentor of Access Consciousness, which was Rika Zimmerman, who left Access Consciousness. So it's actually a good segue because I didn't talk about Access Consciousness, and I'm going to start with Access Consciousness. I'm also not a certified Access Consciousness facilitator. I call myself a D-certified, quasi-certified, pre-certified Access Consciousness facilitator from Time Without Beginning because I are self-certified. So anyway, Jessie Jordan can actually say yes for everyone on the line. The good thing with Access and many of the healing modalities I use is that everyone on the line, whether they're listening in or they're listening into some replay or they're listening in subconsciously from they're asleep in another country, who knows? A lot of people are listening in and they don't even know they're listening in. But everyone will get healing if they say yes to this question. So I'm going to start off with this question. So Jessie, you're going to say yes for everybody. All the expectations, projections, judgments, conclusions, computations that you have and everyone else has about what is possible for you with this sinus infection and everything that's not possible on this call, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate at all times a Buddha zillion?
Yes.
Yes, right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pot and pock, shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, what I said seems like Swahili, but anyway, if you guys go to my YouTube page, there's an hour video explaining what that is. That's the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. And the person that I have doing it is the lady that I said left Access Consciousness, which her name is Rika Zimmerman. So you guys can go to my YouTube page and watch that and know what I said. But the good thing is your subconscious mind knows everything there ever is that's known. So whether you know what I'm saying, you actually do on a subconscious level know what I'm saying. So you guys are all tuning in because of that. So Jessie, what I'm going to use first is the body code. My name is Jessie. What I'm doing for people who never worked with me before, I'm muscle testing. There's many muscle testing techniques. I'm using a falling log method, and my body's saying yes, it's strong. I'm Jessie Jordan. If I say my name is Tim, it all of a sudden becomes weak. That means I'm picking up her energy and not my energy. So that's how we start off. And this body code chart has thousands of pages. I don't even know how many pages, but we just look at the first page and we ask. Her body says the first thing is pathogens. So I looked right at the pathogens and it mold. So, does she? No. Can I download it for her? Okay, this is another cool thing. I've had many healing practitioners from all different modalities come on my radio show and do live healings with the callers. And at that moment, I was able to pick up exactly what they were doing and duplicate it. So what they did on one of the calls is downloaded from the matrix field exactly what the person needed. Because her body's saying mold, the best thing that would normally cure mold is neem tree leaf. And I'm just downloading it from the matrix field into her body, mind, spirit, energy system. And anyone else on the caller who has mold or has fungal infection or anything like that, I'm downloading it in your body if you need it. So if you're open to it, just say yes and allow me to download this into your body. Okay.
Did you say mold?
Yeah.
I've been concerned about mold lately.
Yeah. Okay, so is the mold gone? Yeah. Is there any other? No. Okay. So is there something else that's contributing to this? Yeah. Sinus infection. Okay. So a lot of times when I'm working on the caller, whatever they're going through, I'll start having symptoms of it while I'm working on them. So I feel like I'm getting the, my throats are clogging up. Okay, there's more toxins.
It's fluid in my ears too, in my
Okay.
middle ear.
You have some microbial toxicity. So you have parasites. Are they physical? No. So energetic parasites are what they are, which the thing is, I actually had parasites, which were one of the main things that were causing my back pain, I believe. But I also my skin irritation problems and my nasal problems. But the parasites that I had, there's all different types of parasites, and a lot of people that work with parasites, they have to do all these different tests and figure out which ones that they're working on. But then I figured out there's a whole other group of parasites which are called energetic parasites. They're basically entities without a body. So they are parasites in your body like entities, but they haven't embodied in a physical body, so they don't have anything that a doctor can see in a microscope or anything else. So they're disembodied entities. So can I release all these parasites? Yeah, do I need to know anything more? I'm releasing all these from our body, mind, spirit, energy system, and wherever else they might be. For people that can't see me, I'm going to make a video and put it up on YouTube. I'm recording this on a camera so you can see what I do. But I was rubbing my hands over my head. Dr. Bradley Nelson used to use magnets. I think he still does. But I used them for about a week, and my body said, stop it. So I stopped it, and I just used my hands. And rubbing your hands over your head, what it does is there's starting from the lip, going over the head, down the spine, and all the way around up the stomach again is what's called the acupuncture meridian, which is called the governing meridian, which it governs all the other meridians in the body, which are rivers of energy. And so just sending the intention down that governing meridian with rubbing my hands over my head just sends it through my body, and my body is her body right now because I'm working as proxy for her. So is this all gone yet? So I should have asked you on a level 1 to 10. On a level of 1 to 10, when you first called in, Jesse, what was the level of discomfort in that area you had?
Pretty much like I would say maybe a 7.
Okay.
The 10, I thought I was 10 in the ceiling, so I would say that was very uncomfortable.
Okay. And did you feel did you feel any shift in the last two things I just did?
Yeah, I feel like my passages open up and I can breathe a little better.
Good. Okay. So my name is Jesse. Is there something? No. Right now your body's saying that's all I should do now because there's other callers. So just let me know on Facebook. I know we've talked a couple times before, and call into my radio show anytime. I'm going to take off this Wednesday. Usually I do Wednesday show, but because I'm doing today's show, I'm not going to do Wednesday. But if you call on Sunday, I'll be doing it. It's 9 a.m. No, it's 10 a.m. now. 10 a.m. Sunday morning for people in New York, and people on the West Coast, it's 8 a.m. No, 7 a.m. Yeah.
And Tim, what time is it where you are right now?
Right now it is 8:45 in the morning. On Thursday, what am I on Wednesday morning?
Thursday. Yeah, Wednesday morning, right.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. And Jesse, you could also maybe call in the very, very end of the show and just give us an update. See if you're more like a 2 or a 3 by that time.
Okay.
And just let us know. But thank you very much for calling, and we hope this helps.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Bye-bye.
Yep. We have another caller.
Cool.
When we cue the next caller in the studio, we'll just cue the next caller that you have set up here.
Okay.
I see we have 2 callers on there. Lucy, which one do you want us to take first?
Willow, are you with us? Okay, the caller from the 732.
732 or 735? 732? Willow?
Yeah, 732.
Yeah, 732 Willow caller. Are you live with us?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Well, let us know your name and tell us what your ailment is. Already a little background on it.
My name is Stacy, and actually, it comes and goes, but I get like pins and needles in my left thumb, and it kind of goes up to my wrist. I have had it checked out. Nobody seems to know. They say it's nothing, like it's not carpal tunnel, it's nothing, I don't know.
Okay.
Now, have you actually gone to a physician while you were having the problem, or when you got there, did you not have the problem when you got there? And, you know, in other words, was it one of those kinds of things that you go there while it was present with you?
Yeah, unfortunately, as I go, like I said, it comes and goes.
Right.
And of course, when I went, they, you know, I couldn't feel it. Wasn't doing it, and the doctor couldn't feel it, and he was trying to push on things, and it didn't trigger it. So.
Okay. Another tough one, Tim.
No, that's perfect. The good thing is with Stacy, it doesn't belong to her. So Stacy, everything you're picking up from other people, and everyone on the call listening in, if you can just say yes to whatever Stacy says yes to, it's going to clear whatever's you're worried with. Because 80-90% of the things you feel is actually just an awareness of other people's problems. So that's why they can't find a problem, because it's not yours. So everything you're biomimetically mimicking about other people's bodies and you're manifesting it as a thumb issue, would you be willing to send it back with full awareness? Okay. Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, POD and POC, shorts, boys and beyond. Is this all gone? I should have asked you, on a level 1 to 10, what was your discomfort in the thumb when you first called in?
It wasn't happening when I first called in, but normally it does bother me. I would say probably a 6 or a 7.
Okay. So right now it's not bothering you?
No.
Okay. So what you're going to have to do, every time it happens, because your body's saying it doesn't belong to you, is say, everything I'm picking up from someone else, I send it back with full awareness. So the reason our head is on top of our body is it's like a cell phone tower. It's there to actually receive information from other people and other things. So we're constantly uploading and downloading information with our head. And so 80 to 90% of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions don't belong to you. So if you start feeling when you wake up in the morning that you feel like you're tired, you'll ask yourself, does this belong to me? And usually your body will send it back because it doesn't belong to you.
In your reality. And so far we've had some interesting conversations here on the show tonight. And we've had some healings, healings being done by, I guess, Jim Janakos, and the healings are actually being done from Japan, but it doesn't really matter where you are. In fact, you could be on the moon and doing the healings from there. You could be on Mars and doing the healings from there. It wouldn't really matter, as long as there's some kind of a connection, which there always is through this universe. And I've explained that in several other shows. But it's interesting to do this live and without seeing the patient, but we're discovering it more and more. And it's happening with acupuncture, it's happening with chiropractic and so forth, and much more so prevalent with quantum healing and certainly with energy healing. And so we encourage all of you to call in, folks, at 781-325-4569, and tell us if you have some kind of an ailment, especially if you have the ailment current at this time, and especially if it's something that you have had difficulty, getting it cured. And I think just before we took on break, I think we were asking the producer of the show, Lucy Diamond, if she had any issues. Maybe Tim can talk to her about those.
Hello, hi Tim.
Hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So if I were a magical magician, what would you want to accomplish?
A magical magician? I don't even know.
So is there anything, it could be pain, it could be relationship problems, it could be energy problems, it could be anything that you would want to overcome if I was able to do something beyond your wildest imagination.
Oh, if you could unbreak my heart, that would be great.
Unbreak your heart. Okay, so everywhere you decided that your heart could be broken, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate everything that is and everything that brings up times a Buddha zillion?
See, what's that question?
So every time I say something that you can't hear, it means that I push the button that you actually need to be pushed. So once again, everywhere you thought or you were implanted or explanted with the belief that you could have your heart broken, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it all times a Buddha-zillion?
Okay, yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod and pock, shorts, boys and beyond. So talking of heart, we were talking about the brain. The Heart Math Institute says the heart is actually has a lot more memory than the brain actually does. And the heart is actually measured. They can measure the energy of the heart waves from a closed-off room to another room. The person's heart energy will actually be registered in the other person's body that's in another room if they're thinking about them. So your heart is the most amazing organ of the body, and actually we don't even know really enough about the heart. We're learning more and more in science and energy healing, and everyone's learning the heart. But in Chinese, the character for heart is actually, and the character for brain, both uses part of the same symbols, because they believe the brain and the heart are actually inseparable organs. So the good thing is, you as an infinite being can never have your heart broken. This idea of having your heart broken is just an implanted belief that is implanted in you to make you think that you're a limited being and you could be in any way hurt or destroyed. So everywhere you're not willing to claim, own, and acknowledge that you are an infinite being from time without beginning, and there's nothing that ever can hurt or destroy your infiniteness, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate everything that is and everything that brings up times a Buddha-zillion?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod and pock, shorts, boys and beyond. I should have asked you, how was your heart feeling before I, on a level 1 to 10, 10 being like totally heartbroken and 1 being not anything at all, before I started saying all this crazy stuff?
I'll go to 7.
7, okay, so have you noticed any lightness around your heart area now?
No.
No, okay, that's fine. So you have a heart wall. So a heart wall is one of the main things that the emotion code and the body code does. It's a bunch of trapped emotions trapped around your heart because your heart wants to think it's protecting you by putting this wall around it. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't allow good and bad energy to come in or out, and it blocks off a lot of the radiance of the heart. So can I release a trapped emotion from her heart wall? Yeah. Okay, it's anxiety. Do we need to know anything more about it? No. Does she have more than 1, more than 100, more than 1,000? These hundreds of trapped emotions of anxiety, can I release them all at the same time? Yeah. Do I need to know anything more? No. Release all these from her body, mind, spirit, energy system, and heart wall, and anywhere else they might be. Are these all going? Yeah. Does she have any? No. She still have a heart wall. Yeah. She has a psychic trauma. 2 emotions, 3 emotions. Crying and confusion. So about 5 or 6 years ago, this psychic trauma of crying and confusion got trapped in your body. Your body believes about 5 or 6 years ago. Does that bring anything to your mind at all?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Good. So do we need to know anything more about it? No. Can we just release this psychic trauma? Yeah. So psychic trauma is anytime you have 2 or 3 emotions or more trapped at the same time in your body. It's usually an overwhelming experience. So releasing all this psychic trauma and any other psychic trauma she has in her body, mind, spirit, energy system, or heart wall. Is this all gone? Yeah. Anything else affecting? No. You probably have more layers to the heart wall, but did you notice any shift in your feeling of heartbreak?
No.
No?
But it's interesting that, you would have gotten the year correct.
Yeah. So the cool thing is, yeah, the information's stored in your body and it's easily recallable. Like if I was doing hypnosis, we can go back to past lives, but I actually do work with past lives. So there is issue with actually past life. Would you like me to work on your past life a little?
That would be interesting.
Okay.
Sure.
So your body thinks you were a male in your past life. Whether that's true or not, it doesn't really matter, because you're in your energy body. You can have actually other people's information stored, like a parent's information. So it could be we're picking up on your dad or someone else's past life. It doesn't really matter whether it's you or not. But anyway, it's stored in your body. So if we work on it, it releases whatever that memory is, and you don't have to make it your reality. So your body thinks whoever this person was 5 or 6 years ago that caused you to have this psychic trauma of crying and confusion, it was because of the relationship you had when you were a male in another lifetime with that person. So it's called cording, and we can release all this cording that you guys share through all time, space, dimensions, and realities. So whoops, someone's breathing real loud. Okay, so releasing all this cording she had with this person from all lifetimes, past and in the future, because time is actually cyclical, which we can get into if you want to, but anyway. Releasing it all from her body, mind, spirit, energy system. Is this all gone? Yeah. Anything else we need to do about that? No. Has your feeling of 7 gone down a little?
I'm not so sure. No.
Okay. You might notice tomorrow, or you might notice after, because a lot of times what we do is so subconscious that it's hard to consciously be aware of what's going on, and then days later you might just all of a sudden start feeling happy, and then people around you go, "What have you done?" And you're like, "I don't know, I'm the same person." But a lot of times you don't notice, but other people do. So that's cool. Is there something else? No, we shouldn't do anything more on it. Your body says that's all for now.
Well, wonderful. Well, we're in touch, so at least I'll be able to get back to you.
Yeah,
you know.
definitely.
Oh, no, we'll go.
Do we have a new caller on the line, Lucy?
I don't know. Is there a caller?
I noticed the phone went off and then back on, I thought.
Let me have a look. Nope.
Okay.
781-325-4569. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Yeah. But it is kind of interesting that you kind of nailed the time frame,
Yeah.
on that one, Lucy.
I have clients that they give me 3 or 4 things to work on in a session, and most of my clients I do proxy session, which means I work on them while they're sleeping, and I send them an MP3 file, because that's most of my clients are in another country, and my sleep time is their awake time. So I can't always work on them while they're awake, and I don't have time to call them all and talk to them on Skype. So they give me 2 or 3 issues, and then I work on them, and their body says there's all these other issues, and they said, well, I completely forgot about it. Yes, I do have that issue. I am addicted to chocolate, and all of a sudden their body says all these things that they didn't tell me about, and they're like, how did you know that? How did you know that? How did you know that? And so, yeah, everything's there. It'll come up if it needs to come up.
Interesting. Now, Tim, I noticed that you you're hesitating and then answering a question. Are you looking? Is there some kind of a manual that you basically referencing when when you're working on this?
Yes, I'm using the Body Code Mind Map, which is a hyperlinked text that has thousands and thousands of pages. So I look at one page, and then I look at what. When I first started, I would ask, is it on the right side of the page or the left side of the page, and I would get a yes or no with muscle testing. Then I would say, okay, is it an odd row or even row, and I would narrow it down. It would take a long time. But recently, my body says not to do that anymore, just to go with exactly what it comes to my mind. So I look at the page. It's kind of like, for me, my eye goes right to the one that it is. It kind of like lights up. And then I just click on that one, and it opens a new page. And then I look at that page for a moment, and my body just tells me which one of the many things on that page. And I click on that, and it goes to a new page. So each time I have to click on a page, it gives me new
information. And this was way off the charts. People had this, almost. I mean, a few people reported that they thought they were being watched when they weren't, but the people that were being watched, almost all of them reported that they were. So it was very powerful. And so basically it gets into that whole sense. And there's nothing within the laws of physics that would let you know you're being watched, unless it is this kind of morphic field.
Yeah.
So there's this sensation that you're talking about. And in your case, you're kind of identifying with people. So what's kind of interesting that we've come along to find out is that scientists, want to be able to run experiments to be able to prove things, or they're not going to buy into it. Okay, so that's perfectly fine, and that's the whole concept of scientific principle, and I'm fully on board with that, and that's why scientists were so, I guess, reticent and slow to maybe come on board with paranormal, activity. And for 2 reasons. One, they didn't really think it was necessary, and second of all, they couldn't really replicate it. But what's interesting is we're getting better and better at experiments, and we are replicating these things. And it's kind of really thrown science somewhat on its back on its heels and made believers out of an awful lot of people. And that's one particular case where you talked about morphic fields. Now we're seeing, evidence of them that we can experimentally show, and we can do this in we can duplicate these same findings, more and more. And not everybody's on board with this, but it's certainly something that you have to, buy into. In my book, I say, like if you get into Sheldrake's work, it's kind of like in the vernacular of Ricky Ricardo, the standard model of physics has some splaining to do. In other words, we can't explain certain things, and so something is obviously wrong with the model.
Yeah. Have you heard of the book The Source Fields Investigations?
I have not heard that one. No.
Oh, okay. So the author, and I'm getting a total blank on his name right now, but the Source Fields Investigations was his most thoroughly researched one. His next book after that was called the Synchronicity Keys, but I can't think of his name now. And actually, he wrote a book called The Reincarnation of Edgar Cayce, and I do believe he is the reincarnation of Edgar Cayce, and I can't think of his name anyway. But anyway.
Well, I'm very familiar with Edgar Cayce. I reference him all over my books. Kind of interesting guy. I was just talking about him this past Sunday at a dinner.
Yeah, Edgar Cayce. So I'm actually starting to do more with sleeping healing because I like to sleep, and I started doing when I was about 3 or 4 years old.
David Wilcox.
David Wilcox. Yeah, that's such a great book for scientists who don't want to buy into things that aren't researched. He really goes through the research of all this metaphysical stuff. With most of it was researched after the fall of the Soviet Union with Russian scientists who had the time to do whatever they wanted because they didn't have anything else to do because the government fell apart. So they had laboratories, they had a little bit of money, but they can research things. So they started researching pyramids, they started researching dreams, they started researching all kinds of stuff, which other scientists in countries where the government was funding them to do certain research, that's all they could do. So these scientists had free time to do whatever they wanted. They cared about learning, so they started researching all kinds of paranormal stuff, and the research in that book is just absolutely phenomenal. And a lot of the scientists that aren't willing to give up their notions that physical reality is all there is they're becoming more of a religion, which people are calling scientism, because they're stuck in this old way of thinking that the only way they can prove anything is if it physically is provable. And physical is only 1/3 of reality, so they're only looking at a small fraction of what is possible, and they're trying to explain it based on models that are linear models, which linear in the Synchronicity Keys, he talks about time as a spiral. And he actually talks about all these people that are reincarnated throughout history, and they wonder why historians say Jesus Christ and the guy who, Julius Caesar, there's so many things that in the history of Jesus Christ and the history of Julius Caesar are identical. So either the historians were lying and recreating the history of Julius Caesar, or they both had the same history. And he actually found with about 50 other people in history, they went through the same history over and over, and they were actually reincarnated and redoing the same thing over and over.
Interesting.
So,
yeah. I just read a little bit about him while I was listening to you. By the way, Jess has stayed on, and she has a question.
Cool.
Jess, are you still with us?
I am.
Cool.
And I believe you have a question.
Yes. There is a sensation that I've been having, that nobody's been able to tell me what it is or why it is. And I'm not sure if it's related to the sinus infection or not, but I wanted to ask about it. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Certainly.
Did you say again? What was it again?
It's some sort of sensation when I'm working on the computer, which during the worst part of the sinus infection I wasn't able to do, but when I'm doing it now, it sort of feels like, that feeling if you're falling asleep on a train or in a moving car. It's sort of like that kind of head jerk that happens, but it's happening to the side of my head.
Okay.
That's the sensation. That's just the best way I can describe it.
Okay, and right now, are you having that sensation? Or were you having it right
I
now?
just had it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just having
And on a
it.
level 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, what would you say the discomfort in that sensation?
No, 7 or 8.
Okay. So let me ask if we can do something about that, yeah. The first thing is everything you're not willing to claim, own, and acknowledge about your ability to, what's the word? Not relationship. Okay, hold on one second. I got to think of the word. Commune. Okay. Everything you're not willing to be, know, perceive, and receive about your ability to commune with the consciousness of the computers you're working with, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate everything that is times a Buddha zillion?
No.
Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pot and pock, shorts, boys and beyond. Okay, so I'm going again into access consciousness because I know she has a background in access consciousness. I'm gonna go into everything, but the founder of Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas, likes to change the idea of a relationship into communion, because relationship is actually defined as the distance between two things. So every time we're trying to have a relationship, we're actually causing us to have separation because of the language. And the language means separation. It means the distance between two things. So he says instead of using the word relationship, use the word communion, which is more of a not only a Christian idea but a Buddhist idea. We call it the oneness. So we call it funi, which is neither two. So the oneness of you and the computers, everything you haven't been willing to claim, own, and acknowledge about your ability to be one with all the computers you're using, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all that times a Buddha zillion?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pot and pock, shorts, boys and beyond. Okay, so if she says yes and anyone else who's listening in says yes, you're going to be able to commune with your computers more. So the thing is, science, the people that believe that physical reality is all there is, and there's a group of scientists we call scientism, they're not willing to understand that consciousness is in everything. So the computer has consciousness, our table has consciousness, our chairs have consciousness. So you can actually be sitting on a chair and your butt can be sore, and you can ask the chair and the consciousness of your body to work in communion with each other. And all of a sudden, once you ask that, the chair will start feeling softer towards your butt, because you're actually, the consciousness of the chair will work with you if you ask it to work with you. So let me ask, is there something on the body code chart we should do about this too? Yeah. So far, what I just did right there, did you notice any shift in that sensation?
Yeah, and sort of a clearing up and being able to look at the screen a little bit better too.
Cool, okay. There's something else on the body code chart too about this, so let's look and find where it is.
You know, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. I didn't know if you were through with the healing process.
Just one more thing she has.
Not quite.
Okay, so you have cavitation, which cavitation a lot of dentists don't know about, and it's a anaerobic bacteria that's stuck either in your gums or your tooth or your jaw, or it could be anywhere in your mouth. And this cavitation is kind of hard for dentists to work with, but the good thing is we can energetically release it. So do we need to know where this cavitation is? No. Can we release all the cavitation? Yeah, releasing it all from her gums, jaw, mouth, body, mind, spirit, energy system, wherever else she has cavitation. Is this gone yet? Does she have any other thing like that? No. Okay. So did your sensation go down a little more?
I'm not looking at the computer right now, so
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Does that also work with the fluid in my ear? In my ears?
Yeah, your body says
Like, yeah.
it's related to the cavitation too. Let me ask, is there something else with your nose? Okay, we were working on your nose at first, and you went down a little bit from there. How has it gone down since then?
Oh, tremendously.
Tremendously, okay. So, okay, they're all related. Your ears, your nose, your feeling with the computer, because it's all related. So, it's trapped emotions of anxiety. Do we need to know anything more about it? Does she have more than one, more than 100, more than 1,000? These hundreds of trapped emotions of anxiety, can release them all at the same time. Yeah, do we need to know anything more? No, we're just going to release from her body, mind, spirit, energy system, and wherever else it might be. Is this all gone yet? Does she have anything else like that? No.
One of the things, and I'm very impressed.
Thank you, Joseph. I really enjoyed the call.
Yeah, well, I have as well, and I'll have you back on the show again soon, and thank you again for being on. And folks, thank you for listening to another edition of Ordain Your Reality. And if you're here in the United States, I hope the candidate of your choice does well tonight. And if you're outside the United States, well, maybe you have a vested interest as well. So, and again, this is just a preliminary, but it's really a very big voting day to gain, a lot of access to presidential.
And I'm a California citizen, and I didn't get my absentee ballot this time, but I am sending in my energetic vote for the.
Yeah. You say you were from Orange County? Because I was actually just in Orange County 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Huntington Beach most of my life.
Okay, yeah. My son lived there a number of years ago. Yeah, I was nearby there. Very good.
Cool. Well,
excellent. Well, Tim, thank you very much for being on the show and gracing us with your presence and your background, and of course, obviously the healings that you did.
Thank you.
And so, folks, that's a wrap. And tune in again next week. And again, it's Eastern Daylight Savings Time here, and it starts at 7 o'clock. So please tune in and adjust your time accordingly. Right now, it's 8:35 p.m. my time. So God bless and stay well.
You're clear, Joe.
Good. I like that applause in the end. That's good. That's good. Good little addition.
Yeah, I'm having some fun. That's all.
Yeah, that's good.
So Tim, you want to come back?
Yeah, definitely. That was fun.
Yeah. You're an excellent guest.
Cool.
You get a good speaking voice, and you did a great job.
Thank you,
guys. Yeah, you handled the callers really good. So we could definitely do this again.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let me know. I'll be there.
Okay. We'll advertise it a lot, and we'll stay in touch.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
We're Facebook friends, so we'll keep in contact that way as well.
Cool. And for both of you and for everyone else, if you can drink more water today, because everything I did clearing on you, the more water you have, the more it will clear out quicker.
That's the next thing I'm going to do.
Okay.
Thanks, Tim.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
See you.